Hey guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about 20 Fragments of a Ravenous Youth by Xiaolo Guo. I am so sorry if I mispronounced this author's name. This is, as you can probably tell by the author's name, a contemporary Chinese novel set at the beginning of the 21st century and dealing with the youth of this time period, the precariousness of the Chinese community, and the many struggles that have to do with living and building a future for oneself a person had to deal with in this time period. It is also a very short novel divided in 20 fragments, as the title suggests, in which we see how our main character and narrator seeks for a future for herself in the field she loves. It's a book about struggling to follow in one's dream, about doing your best but still not being able to reach it. In the book we follow our main character as she turns 21 and decides to start building a life for herself as an actress, which has always been her dream job. She leaves her tiny city and moves to Beijing, the town where she expects to find a place in, but doesn't really manage to. Our main character is also a pretty cultured young lady. She is able to understand English, kind of, since she teaches it to herself, and she is very much acquainted with European cinema. This is a book in which we can see her frustrations as she struggles to find a job in the film industry, and also one in which you see the misery and poverty life conditions she has to live with on a daily basis. This is also a book in which you really get to see how relationships between people are established, how they break away, how sometimes they continue, and it's a book about communication and miscommunication in some instances as well. As someone who is in their 20s now, I think this is a book that is surprisingly relatable to someone living in Western Europe in the 2020s. It's a book that I could surprisingly relate to and that I think many people could as well. It's a book in which you really get to read from first person, since it is a first person narrative, the struggles and thoughts of a young person trying to build a life for herself in a world that doesn't seem to care for young people and people with no experience nor a professional background in the place they dream to be. It's a book that also briefly discusses alienation, since it is a theme that is mostly dealt with in the background of the story. It is not really talked about, but you can sense it from the way the story is told. And it's also a book that really shows you how lonely and sad one might and can feel in a big city, as our main character does at many instances in the book. It's a book that, despite its sad atmosphere when it comes to this gloomy city of Beijing in which our main character lives in this very precarious situation, is at the same time pretty funny. Some quotes in it are very witty and kind of hilarious for a reader. Nowadays they are funnily relatable, as you can see in quotes such as this one. In my village, the people used to say that a buffalo only remembers things for a month. I think I must be a buffalo. I've got terrible memory. An incredibly hilarious sentence that I underlined because it was relatable. It's also a book that briefly touches upon topics such as a young person's desire to live a bigger life than the one they are supposed to have. And it is overall, as I have said, a book about dreams, about dreaming big, and about being unable to reach one's wishes. It's also a book that, as the story moves forward, does not only tell the story of this young woman wishing to become an actress, but also of that of an aspiring right there. In the story, our main character and narrator metamorphoses from this aspiring actress to this aspiring film writer as he starts to write her own script after being encouraged by a friend of hers. During her brief experience and during her beginnings as a filmmaker, you see how our main character is willing to write a story about this community she feels a part of. She wants to write about the people who are outcast, about the people who are not usually the main character, but people who are just normal people struggling in their lives. So, as you can gather, it's a book that is pretty much about the small moments. It's a book that is about wishing for more than one can have, but it's also, and kind of most importantly, a book about knowing your place and where you are, and most importantly even where you come from. This is a book that is very short and that reads very quickly, but that really makes you think. It's a book that makes you reflect upon nowadays society, about what the future wants for us young people, and it's a book that I highly encourage anyone to read if they are in their 20s now, because I think that despite it having been written by someone living in the complete opposite side of the planet and 20 years ago, I think it's a book that anyone living anywhere on earth right now can relate to. It's a book that, as I said, that talks about misery, about poverty, about precariousness, all things that we are currently dealing with, and it's a book that really reflects upon one's sadness yet wish to be more, something that I think many people feel nowadays. So yeah, overall I would highly recommend you read 20 Fragments of a Ravenous Youth, especially if you are a young person now. I think it's a book that you will find very relatable and that will help you understand and reflect upon your own situation as you reflect upon the main character in this novel. It's a book that is a short story that will make you think a lot, and it's a book that is going to maybe change your life for the better, since I think that it's a novel that can really make you accept your reality and also show you that you are not alone in wishing for more than you can or have at this very moment. So yeah, I gave this book 4 stars. I see myself rereading it in a not so far future. I think it's a fantastic book and I highly recommend it. So comment down below if you read 20 Fragments of a Ravenous Youth. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I hope you're amazing, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!